Clearing up best practices and updating our video. Today's Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. We're reviewing what we call a best practice when claiming a discard in order to avoid having your hand being declared dead. And we're going to review the impact of Rule 7. This post and all of our posts are based on National Mahjong League rules, the bulletin, Mahjong Made Easy. Our visual companion guide is based on these rules, and we call to the league if there's any confusion. The rules provide that your turn starts when you have 14 tiles from picking from the wall or claiming a discard. However, by the exception to the player next in line getting it, the league also allows you to start your turn if you expose tiles from the sloping part of your rack. But that's not a best practice, and we're going to break down all the overlapping rules and factors here because this isn't a very straightforward discussion. We hope to make it clear, and if you have any questions or comments, comment below or send us an email. We're going to explain why it's best practice when claiming a discard to follow this. Look and listen. Confirm the discard was correctly named and heard. First pick up the discard, put it on the flat top of your rack, and then add tiles from your rack. Now, there is no penalty if you put the discard first in the sloping part, but some players make it a house rule that if someone does that, their hand could be declared dead, since that is the rule in most tournaments. So why shouldn't you expose first, especially if the rules permit it? Once you expose tiles from your rack, or you claim a discard and put it on the top of your rack, you must make an exposure. You can't put the discard back down. You can't take all those tiles back and just say, oh, I don't want it. But what if you misheard or the tile was misnamed? So if you expose tiles from your rack and they don't match the discard, unless you can make an exposure with the discard or have Mahjong, your hand can be declared dead. So doesn't Rule 7 allow me to change my exposure? Sometimes, but not always. It allows you to bring back tiles, but only if you can make an exposure or have Mahjong. The rules reinforce that Mahjong is a looking and listening game, and you could see other videos discussing the misnamed tile for Mahjong and what we call payment by penalty. Rule 7 doesn't allow you to put tiles up on the top of your rack and then not call the discard. So unless you can make an exposure or have Mahjong, your hand can be declared dead. This was confirmed by the league on August 19th, 2025. Well, up until you discard or do a joker exchange, you could change both the number and type of tile once you claim a discard and if you made a mistake, but not if you expose tiles from your rack and can't make an exposure or display Mahjong with that discard. Reinforcing that Mahjong's a looking and listening game, you have to make sure that discard is what was actually discarded before claiming. Once again, you could see the rule on misnamed tiles for Mahjong. A player, by Rule 7, can change the number and type of tiles up until they discard. The expanded rule from bulletins and calls to the league, once you initiate a joker exchange, you are also locking your exposure. Further, the bulletin and the FAQs on the website provides, during a turn, if a player makes an additional exposure into the one they just claimed, if they don't have Mahjong, their hand is dead. So if somebody claims a 2-dot, makes a Kong of 2 dots, and then also puts up 3 bams on that same turn, and they don't have Mahjong, their hand is dead. What does this mean during an exposure? If you claim a discard, place it on the top of your rack, you expose tiles that match that discard, you can add or subtract from that exposure, but only until you lock that exposure. So once you call a 2-dot, place it on the flat top of your rack, by accident include a 3-dot or maybe an extra joker, you could take back tiles from your rack, but you cannot return the discard. You must make an exposure using the discard once placed on your rack or you expose tiles. However, once you initiate a joker exchange or you discard, your exposures are locked. So key takeaways. If a player mishears the discard or it's misnamed and they expose tile from their hand first, their hand can be declared dead if they don't make an exposure or they don't have Mahjong. Once a player exposes tiles from their rack or places the discard on the flat top, they're committed to making an exposure. They can't return that discard to the table. Once they discard or do a joker exchange, it is locked. They can't change it. Remember, this only applies to that current exposure. The league added in that FAQ we just mentioned, if you add an additional exposure during your turn, and don't have Mahjong, your hand can be declared dead. So does this clarify what Rule 7 allows and doesn't? Once again, since this is very confusing, claiming the discard, it is best practice to claim the discard first, put it on the flat top part of your rack, confirm you're using the correct number and type of tiles, then lock that exposure by doing a joker exchange or discarding. So we just wanted to clarify this. This is the most updated information from the league on Tuesday, August 19th. We hope you join us for our hybrid Mahjong tournament to benefit Stand Up to Hate. You could play anytime between now and September 8th. There will be in-person games or online games wherever you want. It's your convenience. $36 registration fee for 6 rounds. You could register individually, but you need to have a group of multiples of 4 to play. If you're an individual and wish to play, we do have some players looking for groups. Send us an email. Upcoming events in Orlando, Aventura, Fort Myers, Naples, and Boca. Our Naples event is sold out, but we are adding an additional event, hopefully, to be determined soon. So stay tuned, or to be announced soon. You don't need a Kindle. You could use any type of Kindle app on a tablet or computer or your phone to have our visual companion guide for American Mahjong in Kindle format. It's also available in paperback. Our PDF to learn to play the 2025 card is available on modernmahjong.com. We have a great review of groupings on the card, strategies, backup hands, overlapping tiles. Really helpful. Many players have told us it has helped us really improve their game. We hope you stay connected. If you aren't following us, what are you missing out on? We invite you to like, comment, save, and most importantly, share. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope that you have a great day and a great game.